The tradition of fortune-telling the future and divining one's love life on Halloween originated long ago in Ireland, where the mysterious Druids lit sacred bonfires upon the hilltops and performed ancient divinatory rites at midnight on the 31st, the eve of Samhain. From Ireland, the divinations and folk magic connected with Halloween spread to the British Isles, eventually making their way throughout Europe and accompanying immigrants across the ocean to the unfamiliar shores of North America and a new world that promised freedom and a better way of life. In the United States, especially in the rural regions of New England, many young unmarried women still retain two Halloween love traditions. The first calls for them to carry an oil-burning lamp or a candle-lit lantern to a spring of water and gaze into its depths at midnight. If done in complete silence, a reflection of their future husband is said to appear. If no such reflection occurs, this is an indication that marriage is not destined to take place within the course of the next year. Also, the divination should not be repeated until the following Halloween. The second method, popular among young ladies who desire to peek into the future and see what their husband-to-be and children will look like, calls for the girl to go to a spring of water at sunrise on Halloween, carrying a glass containing a broken egg. A handful of fresh water is poured into the glass that the girl must then gaze into in complete silence. If she follows these instructions to the letter, and if marriage and children are in her future, a vision of her family-to-be will soon appear within the egg-water mixture. As with the first method of divination, if no vision is seen, this means that marriage and children are not in the girl's future yet. The old Halloween folk custom known as the church porch watch was a widespread divinatory practice in Wales as well as in the northern and western regions of England up until the latter part of the 19th century. At midnight on Halloween, those who desired to learn who in the village was destined to die within the coming year would gather in the church porch of their parish and wait there throughout the night, all the while keeping a watchful eye for the apparitions of those marked by death to come and knock upon the door. The Irish have a simple method of divination known as throwing the shoe. A person wishing to know his future removes one of his shoes on Halloween night and tosses it over the roof of his house. If the shoe lands pointing away from the house, this is a sign that the wearer will soon be traveling in that direction. If the shoe lands pointing toward the house, no travel is forecast within the coming year for the wearer. Good fortune is indicated if the shoe lands with the sole down. However, if it lands with the sole up, this is said to be a sign of impending misfortune or even death. The divinatory practice of throwing the shoe is mentioned in the court records of a 17th century witchcraft trial held in the Orkney Islands of northwest Scotland. Quote, Peter Holland's wife came to the said Helen, the said Peter being sick, and asked at her whether or not her husband would die or live. The said Helen commanded her to take his left foot shoe and cast it over the house, and said if the mouth of it fell up, he would live, and if down, he would die. End quote. Another Halloween divination involving footwear calls for a girl to remove both of her shoes upon retiring to bed on Halloween night and placing them at right angles to one another to form the letter T. The following incantation must then be repeated. I cross my shoes in the shape of a T, hoping this night my love to see, not in his riches or his worst array, but in the clothes he wears every day. The apparition of the girl's future husband is then supposed to appear by her bedside or come into view if she looks over her right shoulder. Oftentimes, he will show himself to her in a dream. If no apparition appears, this indicates that she will not marry before the next Halloween. Blessed be everyone. Happy Halloween!